Oh, you caught us. We were dancing to the tune. We haven't got anybody there anyway, so that was good. Close call, Viv.
You think you're joking? We got 2 people that were watching. They
Oh
caught us.
no!
They
must have
caught
seen that
us.
embarrassing dad dancing.
Or the chair dancing.
Well, yeah. Right. How are you, Viv? How are you? How are things?
Oh, busy today. Doing a few bits and pieces and trying to get technical. But yeah, it's been okay. It's been okay.
William.
Hi, William.
Hi, William. How are you? I hope you're good. Oh, it's 5. That's jumped up quickly. No, 5 now. Oh, down to 4 again. Must have upset someone.
Hang on, I'll just put in a message in the chat.
So you've been a busy bee. Oh, excellent. Good stuff, William. I'm glad to hear it.
What have you been doing?
Me?
Yeah.
Nothing, really. Nothing. Testing out a new camera. Very good, thank you, William. Very good, thank you. Yeah, no, tested out a new little camera.
We miss you.
That's it, really. Hiya, Jamie. Hope you're doing well, buddy.
You notice Jamie's not on tonight. We're missing our Jamester. He sends his apologies, but he'll be back next week.
He will be back next week, definitely.
Right, I'm just going to share this out a few.
No, you carry on. You carry on. So tonight, you lovely people, we're talking about, well, we're talking about crystals in the paranormal or crystals of ghost hunting. It's a subject I know nothing about, so I'm just going to shut up and let Viv crack on with it.
What? What makes you think I know much?
We're going to wing it, aren't we? We're going to wing it.
Well, we've had a discussion already, and we do have some theories and some.
We told him, we sat him in the naughty corner, William, and said you'd only come back on when you've been good enough. That's what we've done to him. I know there's a lot of intricate things that go on with the crystals and people that use them for ghost hunting. I don't quite know what they do. I looked online to see if I could get any references online, YouTube, and no, I couldn't really find anything. I tried to put all different combination of words in the search engine and it just wouldn't come up. Crystals in the paranormal, ghost hunting with crystals, ghost hunting. But I didn't get anything come up. But then I'm not the most... I'm probably not the best person in the world for search engines and computers. So somebody else could probably go on there and get tons of it up, but not me, unfortunately.
Can I ask everyone in the chat to please like and share this if you are so inclined to do so? That would be helping me out. That would be great.
Thank you.
So,
hi Chantal. I hope you're very good.
Oh, she's lovely, isn't she, Chantal?
She is. She is.
This is our paranormal daughter. Isn't she beautiful? There's a picture down there. Just have a look.
Yeah, absolutely, she's a wonderful stunner, as they say.
She's the stunner of the paranormal.
She is.
She'll blind you with her beauty.
She will. And her fingers, if you upset her, she'll poke them in your eyes.
Yes.
Yeah. Is that why you're not here tonight, Jamie? Because you couldn't get any information on it off the internet? Because if you were, if that's the case, I was going to do the same.
Right, so let's start. Right, so Dan, we know more than we actually realise. So
I think I know less than I probably think I do. No, than I think I know.
So the Dave and Doman house, as you know, that is freakishly haunted.
Yes.
And we're not saying that it's the American actress herself, because she has been seen, but there's been other things that have gone on there as well.
Bless him.
And what we realise, or have come to realise, is part of the house is built on an old lava flow. There's a piece of lava right there. Now, Dan and I both have one of these. I don't know if you can see that. Is that a crystal? Apparently, it holds energies. It makes some people sick.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Kelly. But we have houses and other properties. Now, we picked on David Omans only purely because we know that house. We've seen it inside out. He's given us a grand tour, and we've had him on our shows on Simply Spooky quite a lot.
He's a lovely fellow, very entertaining.
But his house is built on lava. So, could the lava, I know it's not a crystal per se, it is sort of, isn't it, really? Could that ignite or energize spirits or energy that the house is built on and cause haunting?
I think there's every possibility it could, because it's a natural element, isn't it? So if it's a natural element, if it's created by nature, it's a living thing.
Amber.
Hi, Amber. It's a living thing, isn't it? So, or it's a part of a living thing. It's a, what would you call it? I don't know, a byproduct. I don't know what you call it, but it's its own thing. But I would think that all of those natural elements have got some sort of energy attached to them. I don't know. I'm only surmising, but
so the Stanley Hotel, right, a famous one.
Yes, beautiful.
The Stanley Hotel. Oh, yeah, I'll sort that out. I said one across. The Stanley Hotel. Now that has crystal. That's been built on like they've got mountain ranges and stuff over there, haven't they?
Yeah,
and that's built on calcium and oh god, what is that other one? Quartz. And
it's an amazing conductor, isn't it? Apparently.
Well, apparently, right. So I have a bit of quartz here. So you can't see it very well. It's a bit
of the market in it.
So I've only just bought 3 because a lot of my crystals I've put away. I don't even use them because I don't need to, but that's another story. So and crystal scrying, you can use crystal balls, the clear ones, the cloudy ones like this one, or obsidian for scrying.
I've used obsidian for scrying.
But the thing is though, Dan, I mean, if you're building putting a building on top of quartz, that's going to ramp up energy in its own way anyway, isn't it?
It's interesting you say that, because there's a castle. I can't think where it is. I think it's in Eastern Europe somewhere. I'm not sure where it is. It might be. It's somewhere that way. It's Eastern Europe, somewhere that way. And this castle is renowned for hauntings, and there's been so much evidence that's come out of there that appertains towards paranormal activity and what else is going on. Lots and lots of stuff going on. But the thing is, they realised years later that underneath it there was a cavern, and the cavern is full of crystals.
Ooh.
Absolutely ramped with crystals. And so they think that could be the energy. Now, they don't know whether it's actually creating. I don't know what the situation is with whether they're intelligent hauntings or whether they're recorded.
Yeah.
I think it's a mixture. I think it is actually it is a mixture of both. But of course, we all know that quartz and crystals, like a lot of things, have natural qualities that can allow to be recorded. I mean, for stuff like silicon. Is it silicon?
Yeah, silica.
Stuff like that. Yeah, silica, which you find in sand.
Yeah.
That's the property that's used in tapes for tape recording.
Yeah.
Because that's what they record onto, and so it does make you wonder: is that part of it? Is that what's causing it? Is it being recorded? Is it holding on to energy?
Yeah.
And not just is it replaying, but is it also giving energy to the spirit world so that they can then come forth and communicate and be active? I don't know, but it does seem that there are quite a few of these places that have got crystals attached to them that are particularly haunted. But then everywhere's got that silica in it, isn't it? Everywhere's got that material.
I was going to say bricks would hold that. Just normal household bricks. So it's got to be everywhere. It's
everywhere.
It's whether we're attuned to it or not. Surely, I think that's what.
Sand as well, because sand is full of silica.
Mm.
And we use sand for glass.
Yes.
So it's literally everywhere, isn't it?
So we've had a discussion because we went to a person. We're not going to mention any names. We went to a person to ask about crystal. We
Sorry,
went to
William. I have to stand. Yeah.
crystal gridding. So we don't know what it is. As I say, like I have crystals. I use crystals for personal reasons. But we wanted to know what crystal gridding is and how they use it within the paranormal. And how that was explained to us was that they lay out certain crystals in a grid fashion, maybe changing different types of crystals. I don't know, they might use onyx, or they might use quartz, or they might use tiger's eye, whatever it is that they're using. They lay these crystal grids out, and then if it doesn't feel right, they'll change one. That's what we were told. And then they would set this up. Then they would press the ignite button, wouldn't they? You would like spiritually, and then send out all this energy, and apparently supposed to ramp up spirit activity. Now, Dan, what are your thoughts on that? You can be as honest as you like. We don't care on here. We can be as honest as you like.
It's like everything, isn't it? It's like I'm very skeptical of lots and lots of things. I'm very skeptical of people's perceptions of what they've seen, what they've heard. I'm very skeptical of a lot of people that say that they've got mediumistic abilities, and I'm very skeptical of crystals as well. But I'm not saying that I'm right. All I'm saying is that I think the jury's out for me. To be honest with you, I'm not having the experiences that these people are having, because I'm not going through, because I'm not in their head and I'm not having these experiences. I can't tell you whether they're credible or not. They could be definitely credible. What they're saying could be 100% right. But because I'm not experiencing it myself, I'm loath to commit myself to saying, well, yeah, this is the case. Because the thing is, there's enough information in this industry that puts people in the wrong direction, sends them off in the opposite direction to which they should be going, and it causes confusion. And I don't want to add to that. I don't want to add to the melee of that by saying, oh, yeah, this works. Oh, yeah, that works. Oh, this is great. So I'll always sit on the fence, really, and say, I don't know. I've seen good results with things, or I've experienced this, but don't take my word for it. Find out for yourself.
Well, Dan, if they're having to do that, right, and you have to ramp up energy, and I'm saying this as an investigator, can you claim that place to be haunted then? Because if you're having to do all of this work, even by switching on an EMF pump, if that's what you're having to do to get something to interact with you, can you call that place haunted in the first place?
That's a good question, actually, Viv. I think for me, I would bring a pump to stop spirit from draining energy out of batteries that I've got. So I always bring a pump and say, look, take that, use the energy from that, and that will help you to do what you want. Hopefully you'll be able to manifest, or you'll be able to tap or knock or do something, or even, be able to hear you sort of audibly.
Yeah.
But overall, I think that, I don't know, I think that the spirit could be draining energy from other places, but if you're bringing that little bit of equipment along that then spurts energy, is that giving them extra? I don't know. It's hard to say, and it's one of those things. And the thing is, I'm always saying, well, I'm going to draw spirit in. Hiya, Wayne.
Hi.
Well, if you need to draw spirit in, A, where are you drawing it from? And B, was it there in the first place? Are you bringing it from somewhere else?
Yeah.
But then I don't know how spirit works. So it's all for me. It's all supposition,
but nobody knows how spirit works.
No.
I mean, if we knew, then we would know how to get full apparitions all the time.
Exactly. So for me, it's all supposition. I hate to be like, I'm not poo-pooing it. I believe fully in the spirit world. I've experienced and seen things that, I've got nobody will shake my dedication or belief in the spirit world. I believe in it completely, but I can't then tell somebody who hasn't had those experiences, or doesn't have the same abilities, if I were a medium or whatever, that I have, that this is the case, because they're not experiencing it. So
okay, so that brings me on to my next thing, which is crystals for protection. Now, people are wearing more and more crystals as the decades go past, for whatever reasons. And when I ask people, like, why are you wearing that around your neck? Oh, that I wear that for protection. And they might have, I don't know, a piece of quartz, a piece of whatever. But if they went back and did their homework and did their work with crystals and used good crystal books and research that one piece of crystal, they would find that that crystal is actually no good for protection. And I bring into this piece of crystal that I have here, which is called fluorite. So you can see it's striped, it's got lots of colours. Now, Dan, you know that I'm a spiritualist medium and I've been teaching and running circles and do workshops and stuff all over the place.
Yeah.
Now, I know that this particular crystal aids perception. It brings you, it draws in spirit and brings you closer to them to be able to work with them, apparently. I've never had that with that crystal. It's more of a comforter for me. Having this crystal around, it's just like, I suppose, with a baby with a dummy in its mouth, and it gets upset, you stick the dummy in. And that's exactly how this crystal works for me. I don't stick it in my mouth, but it works along those same lines as that. It calms me down. And that is it. But apparently that's not what that crystal is used for. So, wearing crystals for protection, Dan. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? To be honest, I mean,
I've done it. I know nothing. Well, you can see from this evening, I know absolutely nothing about crystals, nothing. And so, if I want something for protection, I have gone into these what used to be like crystal healing shops and what have you, and I've asked somebody there who's knowledgeable about the crystals, what do you think would be the best one to use for dirty dirt? But then I thought about it, and I thought, well, is it like anything? Could any crystal be protective to you if you build a bond with it? It's like a tool, isn't it? If you use it enough and often get to know it and it gets to know you, then you can do some wonderful things with that tool. And that tool will show you ways that
but then, Dan,
investigating or go on.
My thing is then, well, why does it have to be a crystal? Why can't you
just
wear a talisman? Or why can't you get a rock out of the garden?
And that's what it is. To me, that's what it is. It's like a talisman. It's like, I think it's what's that? You got what quartz? Oh, okay, that's nice.
Put that
I think it's I don't know. It's really hard to
see. Now, apparently, according to the crystal experts, rose quartz is for love, so it wouldn't protect you.
But then, I mean, reality, they're saying, well, this is for this and this is for that, and I'd like to know if they know that.
Yeah, exactly. How do they know?
How do you know that it's for that? How do you not? I mean, does one crystal, take one crystal, obsidian or whatever, would that mean different things to different people? And would people perceive it to mean different things from the experiences they're having whilst holding on to it?
Yeah.
And if I went out and picked up a bit of fluorite, you say it's for contacting and communicating with the spirit world, and I won the lottery, would I then think, oh, this is clearly working with the universe to bring me what I want? So am I putting all of my hope into that one crystal?
Could it be a placebo
effect? Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
Hi, Bill.
Hi, Bill. Hope you're good.
So I don't know. I mean, again, now this is a tricky one. I think, I in the past, I mean, as you know, as I explained to you, like years and years ago, I used to sell crystals. I used to use crystals. I've done dowsing workshops. I know what dowsing is completely. Well, that's another story.
Yeah, I've done dowsing.
But Dan, why would... I mean, like, it's your faith. Whatever you put your faith into...
It's intention, isn't it?
Is it? Again, yeah, the human mind is really, really strong. And you go to different people that are selling crystals, and they'll all tell you that this does something different. Each time you go to a different person, they'll tell you it does something else. So who is it do you believe? Do you believe yourself? Do you believe your own gut feelings, or What do you
My
think?
dad used to have a saying that you make your own luck in this world. And I think that's right. I think that and it's very much to do with your perception of things as well.
Yeah.
And if you go through life and you look at things negatively, then everything you perceive in life is going to be negative. It's going to be crap. But if you look at things that are negative and think, well, hang on, there's a positive slant to that. So it's all about perception, isn't it? It's about the mind is an amazing thing. It can either trick you or you can trick it.
Yeah. You know what crystals I use?
They are beautiful. Do you know what, Bill? I agree. They're a part of Mother Nature, and to me, that's enough. They're stunning. But I don't know, and I'm not saying that these crystals haven't got these abilities or energies or what have you. Not at all, because people that use them and swear by them, and say, well, maybe they're right. I don't know. I can't say. I'm not going to poo-poo anybody. But by the same token, for me, the jury's out. Really, the jury's out. They're like Bill says, they're beautiful to look at. And that's about it for me, I think.
They say mind over matter has been around for years, along with the power of suggestion. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the other thing is that you see crystals on investigations that are on as dowsing pendulums. I don't think I've got one to hand that I can show you to explain what I mean by this. But it's a crystal normally that has a point on it, on a chain. That can be used for dowsing. Now, what I'm seeing is, and I'm not poo-pooing anybody. If that's your belief, that's your belief. But if you go into the art of dowsing, it is not spirit that moves that crystal. You are moving it yourself using your subconscious mind. It's what us mediums use, that part of the brain that is lying dormant. We activate it. And it's through that we have spirit communication. So when it comes to dowsing, unknowingly you're activating that part of the brain which will send impulses down your arm, and it's you yourself that are moving that pendulum. It's not spirit that does it.
No.
And I've seen, and bless them, and I do love them, and they are entertaining. I've seen so many people with this pendulum really going round and round, walking around a building. Oh yes, this. And I'm saying, how is that moving? And they said, oh, spirit springing that around. Look at that. It's wonderful. Spirit really reacting well tonight. And I'll just walk away. And I have to be nice and say
I'll be
nothing.
honest with them things. I think it's auto-ideo movement. I think for me, it's like you're moving it, but you don't know like subconsciously. So you're doing it, but you don't know that you're doing it. So you're giving yourself the answers that you're looking for.
No.
So it's your subconscious saying, look, this is, or maybe there is a spirit here, you're picking up on it, but it's you telling you that that's the spirit's there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but maybe
an interesting thing about them pendulums, Viv, I've never seen one work when it's been hanging there on its own over sand.
Oh, I've got one up there that actually moves on its own. And
I've never seen one move on their own.
What I have done in the past is I've got an old vodka bottle and I put a hole in the lid and I threaded through the pendulum and just had the bobble on the top, just holding the pendulum in place, and put it inside a vodka bottle, screwed it tight, and just left it on the shelf, just let it settle, and then put a camera on it to see if it swung. And it did, but that was only because there were people stomping past, making so much noise that the vibration then set it off. So completely ruled it out. But that was with no one actually touching it. So it's handy for something like that, I suppose. But
see, that's weird though, isn't it? Because I've used those and I've had nothing from them, right? Apart, as you say, vibrations, people moving about, maybe moved it a bit. But then I used a chalkboard, which is an old school method, isn't it? With a bit of chalk, put it in a room, locked it down, went back, didn't have a camera on it, unfortunately, went back, and there was markings on the chalkboard with like proper markings. No words, but they were just like little attempts at drawings.
Yeah.
And so you think to yourself, well, that gives me credibility that there's something that's worked with those items.
Yeah.
Chalk's crystals, I don't know.
Placebo medicines, they can.
Yeah. Well, you can make my mum used to say, because she was a nurse, she used to say, you can will yourself ill and you can will yourself better.
Yes.
You know? And it is literally, it is like Wayne was saying, it's mind over matter.
Yeah, I just explained it with Bill. It's how you're opening up your parts of the brain that lay dormant, and you might not necessarily be aware that that's what you're doing. Because when we meditate, you're opening these parts of the brain, and when you're communicating with spirit, when you're actually hearing, seeing, and speaking to them, it's all going all through this part of the brain. So through meditation, that's a good way of controlling that. But where you're using your dowsing rods, automatically that's happening without you realizing it, and that's why you're getting the answers that you're getting through your dowsing rods. So let's move along. Have top part of the chain held over a stationary flat surface tabletop so they can't move them. They actually do. Even if you're holding it as still as you can be, you will always still be moving it.
There's that idio movement, isn't there? That's
yeah.
I think is William on about. I think is William on about hanging on its own from a platform.
Don't know.
I wonder.
The mind can do many things. It can. It's very. We don't even know half of what our brains are capable of because we don't use all of it.
Was it 10%? They reckon we've got open.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've got a
natural element.
Let me see if I can bring it down. It's not an actual crystal. Hang on, I'll show you. This is a sand pendulum. Or trying not to smash the room up.
Okay. Yeah, those ones I've used.
So that's a sand pendulum, and inside you'd put your sand. Sand's been put away. And it should be used over controlled areas. Yeah. And I suppose with your crystal pendulums as well. Anyone that's a serious investigator should actually use it under controlled I don't know where to put this now.
Everything should be done under controlled conditions, shouldn't it? If you can. But obviously, it's not that easy as we know. But
no. So where else are crystals being used? I mean, I've heard of people, and again, this is us women, I suppose, would use crystals. I suppose if we're having personal problems and issues, like once a month a lady might have issues that a crystal works well with her, and by putting it close to your skin. So the usual trick is, Dan, I know you don't want to hear this, men cover your ears, a lady will put crystals inside their bras.
Well, thank God you said that. I was thinking you were going to say somewhere else.
No. Inside their bras.
I've seen those phallic crystals. I thought, I don't want to know.
And apparently it works. So, I suppose if you put intention and the power of thought, that would work, I suppose, even on investigations. Does it open up your perception? Because
I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm not saying they don't, but they might very well work. All I'm saying is I've never had an experience with them, and I've convinced myself that, you know what, the jury's out, but I'm more on the side of, it's your mind. You're convincing yourself that they're doing X, Y, and Z when they're not. That's fine. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think as well, like using something like that in paranormal as a trigger object? Because children, especially, if there are spirit children or reports of spirit children, they're drawn to pretty things, aren't they? Especially little girls.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it could very well be. I mean, this is. I'm stumped with this one, as you can see.
Reiki.
I'm just because
Reiki uses crystals. Keeping my mouth shut on that one. Actually, I thought Reiki uses symbolism, not crystals.
I don't know anything.
Correct me if I'm wrong on that
one. I've had Reiki practiced on me, but I don't know enough about Reiki. That was my hippie phase.
They use crystal spheres other places. Laugh out now. So I'm going to bring on the next one. We're going to move on, Dan. So scrying. Scrying. So scrying, not crying. I mean, we'll be crying at the end of this. Scrying with crystals. So crystal balls, the black obsidian plates, or they They call
Thanks,
them
Bill.
mirrors. Um, the mirrors. What do you think about that? Are they any better because you've got a crystal?
I've used obsidian to scrying. I've used mirrors and I've used bowls of water. For me, a lot of the things with scrying is it's done in the dark. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I've had experiences with it where it couldn't have been anything other than maybe spirit to me. That was the case. But with a lot of it, I think that people, so you sit there in the dark and you concentrate on your features, and I think your eyes get tired. They start to wander.
William just sent a photo of like what he does with the dowsing. You can still send electrical impulses from your brain down your arm, from your fingertips to the crystal.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, people moving around there. If people are moving around there, it could be wind or I don't know. It might. I mean, they might. But I'm not saying that it's not. I'm just saying that that's the way I would think about it. Yeah, I think with a lot of it is that people are. It's like it's like anything. When your eyes get tired and you lose focus and you start to refocus, then you can, But then I have seen people literally change.
Yeah.
And I've thought, yeah, that's
through a dowsing
through
crystal.
a mirror.
Through a mirror.
Through a mirror. And I thought, well, actually, they've had the mirror in front of them, and I've sat over the other side and watched them. So they've had the mirror there, they're here, they've got an investigator with them here, and I'm over there. So the investigator is seeing their face change in the mirror, and I'm seeing it change where I'm sitting. So I can't see the mirror. And so I'm thinking, this isn't my eyes. And this has been done with lights on as well.
Yeah.
And you think, yeah, okay.
But what about through the crystal? I mean, does it mean that it's going to work better because you use a crystal?
You know more about this than me, Viv. I think.
Well, I would say no.
Focus.
Yeah, I would say no.
Focus like, these Romany gypsies and that, when they used them, it was more to focus your concentration, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So that, like you say, so that you could then open up because it's like meditation, is it? When you're in a meditative state, all sorts of wonderful and weird things can happen. You can see things. Prime example, when I've been going home, and you've probably had it, and these guys have probably had it as well. When you're going home in the early hours of the morning, you're a bit tired, you're coming home from an investigation, and you maybe see something. Is that because you're relaxed?
See now, look, see that flash inside there.
Yeah,
I can tell you that. Well, it's just a flash. It's an inclusion in the crystal, but I could. Someone that doesn't know what they're doing could look at that and matrix and see all sorts of things in that crystal. So again, it's like, are they doing it because they're wanting to see something in the crystals, or in the plates that they're using? Or are they really seeing it? I think that the first is most probably going to be key.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Yeah. I think it's like anything, isn't it? It's just to focus your concentration.
Yeah.
Really.
So scrying, and William says that he didn't know scrying was done in the dark. Yeah, you can do it in the dark, dimly lit during the day. You can do scrying anytime.
The one that a lot of people used to do it with, and I used to poo-poo it because I used to think, well, look, no, because you can see things. When they did it in the lights out with a candle there.
Mm.
And it was like, no, because the light's flickering on that mirror. And it's flickering on your face, and it's going to distort what you see and what we see.
I've seen it done in the dark on some very old ancient stands. And then that stand has stood on a plate, and then it's been covered over until we were actually going to. It's all pomp. It's all pomp and ceremony. It's all it is. It doesn't actually mean anything. It doesn't mean that you're going to get more.
No.
Because you're using crystals, but it is an amazing subject, isn't it, though, Dan? It's just
I think so, and I think that's the paranormal field, and spiritualism has always been open to ceremony, isn't it? And it's always been open to theatrics.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, you see it yourself when you go on an investigation and you've got somebody who gets possessed. I don't believe that possession happens that quickly. I don't believe that you can get possessed in that and then all of a sudden you're all right again. Oh, move them out the atmosphere. How's that going to change it? Because spirit's going to move with you wherever you go.
But Dan, I don't get it. Right? I'm a trance medium. And so I'm going to these investigations, and I close myself down as much as I can, and I keep my mouth shut because I don't want to be working that night. I've paid my ticket for my ticket like everybody else. I want to enjoy my evening. And then I'll see somebody get possessed, and then I'll just have to go, you know,
Yeah.
because
It's
why are they going to go to that person if it was going to happen at all, when they could come to me and use my voice box and get very clear and precise messages come through? I just don't get it, Dan.
who was it who made the decision that, oh, they're possessed, get them out of the room?
Yeah.
It's like somebody said to me one day, this guy, I went to investigate this house, and he said to me, yeah, I want to talk to you, but I want to talk outside. And I went, why do you want to talk outside? He went, well, I don't want the spirit like here. I said, do you not think the spirit can move?
Yeah.
Do you not? I said, you don't think? I said, we could go 100 miles away, and if there's a spirit, it's going to pick up on you. It's going to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, and that's the thing. It's like, who comes up with these? It's like you hear them in the paranormal field, don't you? Oh, well, you do this and you do that, and you think, well, yeah, but who said that? Where did that come from? Who made that one up?
Yeah.
You know, who says that this is the case? Like Ouija boards, isn't it? Oh, they're demonic. They're this. They're that. Where did that come from? It's like Richard Felix says it, doesn't he? The only way you'll get hurt with a Ouija board is if somebody picks it up and hits you down the head with it.
Yeah, William says, what I hear is that crystals add energy. I'm not saying I agree. There's so much added that isn't real. Yeah, it's just like, well, why pay all this money for a crystal just to add energy when I can go and buy a 20 quid EMF? Was it called an EM pump?
EM pump, yeah, electric magnetic.
A lot cheaper than this. I think it's a fad that people are drawn into.
Isn't that the same with the equipment that people spend fortunes on as well? Most of it is...
Yeah.
It's like, oh, look, that's going off. But is it going off because of that? Is it going off because of something else? It's a prime example, as you say, people buying stuff but not knowing how it works.
Yeah. I mean...
If you knew how something worked, you'd know that chances are that's not doing what they're telling you it does.
Yeah. I mean, there are some people that are really good with crystals. There are very few out there that actually know what they're doing when it comes to working with crystals in the paranormal. To be honest, it's proof we're looking for, not energy. You know, when I'm working in the paranormal field, when Dan will tell you, when I hardly ever do mediumship, or I'll get me, you know, my crystals and plates out and stuff like it. There's no need for them.
Well, as soon as we see it, we walk off, don't we?
Oh God. What about you walking off?
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
But you know, I think as well, though, Dan. I think it's people's perceptions. It's what they want out of paranormal, isn't it?
It is.
You know, some people want to put on a show and say, "Oh, wait, there, I'll just get my crystals out, or I'm just going to do this, and I'm getting this, and I'm getting that."
Well, look how good an investigator I am. I just spent 300 quid on this. What does it do? Well, it lights up.
But Dan, when you actually question people, you know, when they're using the crystals, they're saying, I'm getting this and I'm getting that. And then you ask them, how are you getting it? How is that information being given to you? They can't answer the question. And that's the time when it is, for everybody, well, for me personally, that's the time when I walk away and say, sorry. Okay, then. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Laughing at Williams.
Let's read what he says. I've run investigations where people go out of the room to plan their approach to contact. What?
It's true. Absolutely spot on, William. It's true, 100% true. It's like, well, they're spirits. They don't go anywhere. What are you talking about?
So, Dan, would you... right, so I want to bring it to caves and water and that sort of things now. So caves, rock formations, again, we talked about silica being in certain things and quartz. And so these caves, and they're all over the world. We got caves here somewhere in Cambridge that I don't know about. But anyway,
they're everywhere.
So they're all over the world. So why aren't we seeing more ghostly apparitions around these caves then? If crystals are that strong and bring that much energy, and you can imagine in a cave, there would be... Belle might be able to answer this. Hi, Belle. Why aren't we seeing more apparitions, more sightings around caves.
That's a very valid point. It's a valid point. Yeah. It's odd, isn't it? Really, you would think that we're crystal. I mean, I've got crystals here, but there's no hauntings here.
No.
So clearly they're not. Maybe they're not the right ones. Maybe I've bought the wrong ones.
Yeah, but you say that, Dan, though. There was a cave that was discovered, and I think there are pictures of it on the internet. But there was a cave discovered, and it had nothing but gigantic rock points of quartz. The whole cave was.
Oh, I've seen that. It's gorgeous, isn't it? Yes.
So wouldn't that be the most haunted cave in the world then, if crystals could?
You would think. That's the thing, isn't it? It's I don't know. It's an awkward one. I mean, I've never looked into crystals purely and simply because I probably haven't given them much credence.
No.
I'm not saying they don't work. I'm no authority, certainly. I'm willing to be shown how they work, and I'm open to people saying, look, watch this. Brilliant. If you can do that, brilliant. But nobody's come to me and gone, I'll watch it do this.
Belle's come up with an answer.
That's what we were saying, Belle.
Yeah,
that's exactly what we were saying.
Yeah.
It's like a focal point, isn't it? It's
But it is quite funny because Dan had a crystal that he couldn't use because he said it made him feel quite.
That was entirely different.
It made him feel quite ill. So he said, Viv, you have it. See if you. I love the crystal. I can wear it all the time, sleep with it. I use it as extra protection. And that's the Moldavite one, isn't it?
Moldavite. I got a piece of Moldavite, and I didn't read anything about it. I realised that it was for sale, and I bought it, and I put it on, and I was having nightmares. I was sweltering. I was sweating in bed. I just felt awful. And then I looked it up.
You was going through the menopause.
I was menopause, the danopause.
The menopause.
The danopause. And I was just having a terrible time with it. Like horrible nightmares and all sorts of weird and wonderful things going on. It made everything it made it prominent. It made everything look, it was almost like these were real, these experiences. And then I looked it up and they said that Moldavite doesn't work with some people because you're not ready for it, or it just doesn't balance with you, and therefore it will cause these problems. And it was all of the things. So I can take that. Now, I'd read that information after I bought the Moldavite and it had done those things to me. So to me, that's a verification. If I'd have read them beforehand, then had those experiences, I would then have thought, yeah, but you know what? I've just read that and put it in my head and that set me off. I didn't know anything about it. Beautiful. I wear it. Beautiful.
I wear it for both of us now.
So yeah, exactly. And there's not a lot of it left in the world, apparently. But it is stunning. It's a meteorite. It's stunning. Piece of a meteorite.
So Wayne says, and crystal shops, Swarovski factory might be a nightmare to work in. Actually, why isn't there haunted Swarovski shops? If they're that, they can, that's what you're using crystals to help manifest and build up energies.
That could be a point. Or maybe a lot of people don't go into caves and therefore they don't see the energies that are there.
Yeah, but Dan, there would be like cavemen at some point. And why doesn't energy create the entities? I mean, surely, if they're looking for the energy to be able to boost, to manifest, why aren't we seeing that more?
But I'm guessing if a lot of caves we don't enter, I mean, there are caves over here like the Blue Jean Cave and quite a few others that are haunted and that they've seen apparitions and had experiences in. Hi, Terry. But saying that, I've been in caves on my own and...
Yeah, see, Belle's saying a lot of crystals that are sold and actually aren't natural.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. I think they're beautiful.
I'll wear it when we come out with you, Belle. I'll put some on and I'll show you.
It is lovely. It's very pretty. I love crystals. Yes, Swarovski is glass. Yeah.
Yeah, but glass contains silica, And silica
Yes.
comes from a crystal.
Maybe it's. I mean, they're natural. I think that natural elements have got some. They've got a vibration, haven't they? They're part of Mother Earth, so therefore they're part of a living thing. It's like when we were talking about scrying. Best way to do it, I believe, is water, because I think water is the natural element, and that's the way that the old witches used to do it, wasn't it? They used to use water.
Well, I don't know
Um,
about in America though, but they did in England, definitely.
yeah, over here they did. Yeah,
Before the houses came, they were living in
yeah.
caves.
Well, even as like recent as 100, 200 years, we've had hermits, haven't we?
Yeah,
Of just like and monks and what have you that have got sick of life and thought, you know what, I need to be more spiritual. I'm going to take myself away from this.
yeah.
Yeah, haunted minds. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
So
interesting.
it's an interesting one, isn't it? I mean, we could go down so many rabbit holes with this, but it would be interesting to know how many people in the paranormal actually use crystals, and do they use it for energy-based work? Because you're not gonna, I hand on heart, and I say this with the best intentions. You're not going to create a manifestation of anything just because you use a crystal. It's just not going to work.
Well, how do we see manifestations if there aren't any crystals evident? Like you're
They're
walking
just
down the road and you see
they're,
one.
they're just appearing, aren't they? It's because
Yeah,
you bring a
yeah.
crystal to that haunted house. You're not going to see.
No,
You can't guarantee a
I mean
manifestation.
when I've been outside and I've been all right. You've got natural elements like mud and earth, and you've got water and stuff, and the rain and that. When I've seen things, because there's always going to be natural elements around. But I've never had a crystal on me when I've seen anything.
See, over here in England, a lot of people lived in most of them.
Yeah, a lot of them were
Yeah, they
lived in over
did.
the
Yeah,
years
yeah, a lot of them.
throughout the millennia.
Yeah. So
But
yeah,
they're
it is.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's been an interesting topic of conversation. Dan, should we get a crystal, do you think, and start using it on investigations? Can there be such thing as a haunted crystal? You know, you get people that say that they're haunted
There might be
dolls.
a girl called Crystal who's haunted. Apart, I don't know if there's a little crystal that's haunted, but I think that
Yeah, but you get haunted dolls. Can we not
exactly. Terry's right. Yeah.
a haunted crystal?
Well, yeah. But then the question is it the artifacts that are bringing in the energies, or is it the people?
I think it's the people. She uses them to enhance her energy. See, exactly. It's just the energy thing again.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not knocking people because I don't know anything about it. I'm just saying that's my perception of it is that,
Yeah.
you know. But I mean, I might be. If I'm wrong, I'm happy to be wrong. Somebody
Hey,
proves me wrong. I'm happy with that.
Dan, we need to go and find this cave. Is it in Bolivia, I believe?
Which one's that?
You know, the one with the gigantic crystal
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
points or something. Maybe
Beautiful.
we should go in and
Beautiful.
or maybe sit in one of these. What they call it, a church, don't they? Where it's all you go into it. You
Yes,
can
it
actually
looks. It's
sit
like
in.
yeah. They've got crystal cathedrals as well, don't they? Like where you walk in and it's. I mean, they're
Yeah,
beautiful, aren't they? They're stunning. I mean, I do love them. I think they are absolutely beautiful, beautiful works of art. They're lovely. They're gorgeous, natural works of art, which is the best work of art.
yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know. You see a lot of these. Another thing as well I've seen as well, and think, well, where'd that come up with that one? Well, you see a lot of these ghost portals that people have used over the years. Not so much now, but they've used them over the years, and they've got all of a sudden they were. I had one, just a plain. It came from America, so it was a proper one.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, people started building them over there, and they started sticking crystals on them. It's like it's more like theatrics, you know. For me, it's like more like I don't know, you know. It's like getting a car and putting stripes down the side of it, and then going, "Well, that makes it go faster." Does it though? Does it though? You know, I don't think it does.
But you know, crystals have been used going back eons and eons for healing and for other things. So I think crystals are around to stay. They're not going to go anywhere soon.
No, no, no. They're. So Bell says I was.
I'm going to read it.
Yeah, cool.
Do you know what? I think that's
Yeah,
mind over matter, Belle. I mean, this is just my perception of it. I think that's mind over matter. Did you put your faith in that crystal, knowing that you could do that anyway? If you took that crystal out of the equation and
I think that's what she
trained
says.
your own mind, you'd be able to do it anyway,
That's what she
regardless of
says,
the
Viv, isn't
crystal.
it? But in
Yeah,
reality, it was
yeah,
me projecting the training, not the crystal.
exactly, exactly. I think
It's like a lucky
crystals.
penny, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a
I've got a
secondary
lucky
thing.
penny.
It's like my piece of fluorite that I rub, and this is not the one that I use. That's put away and cleaned and ready for me to use. But this is just a little showpiece thing that I've got. It's only because it's pretty. But
It's very
yeah,
pretty.
we don't use this. I mean, Dan and I have got this thing, which we will be using when we head over to California. There he is. That's my one. Dan's
The
one.
lava, mine's over there somewhere, out there somewhere.
Yeah.
There's the old
So
lava skulls.
we have our lava, and they just so happen to be carved into skulls. That's all. But we find it very, very interesting to see if it does affect us in any way, shape, or form. Maybe we'll take our lava skulls out on Saturday, Dan.
We can do. Maybe we should take some crystals out and see what we get. Just just for an experiment. And then we can go with these crystal people and go, ha! Didn't work.
Maybe we could start a movement.
Or
Take
we go,
the crystals.
yeah, you were right. It did work.
It did work, yeah.
It did work. I don't know. I mean, people say, well, you got the. I mean, it's hard, isn't it?
You've got to try what suits you. I
think that's the thing, isn't it? What works for the person. If you want to say, well, I'll go ghost hunting, I normally have experiences when I put spotty underpants on my head. Do it. If that's what, if it works for you and it helps you concentrate and focus and you have experiences, then do it. For well, this is for next week, isn't it?
I have the jar of doom, Dan.
If that says bloody crystals again.
Hang on, let me just, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to spread them out. I'm going to mix them about.
That better not say crystals for next week.
I think we got crystals again for next week.
Oh.
The jar of doom. Tell me when to stop, Dan.
Stop.
Okay.
I love crystals, but I can go off them.
Left, right, or middle?
Middle.
Next week we are talking.
Oh, I know nothing about that either. For Pete's sake.
Do you want me to put it back in to wait for Jamie? I'll shake it up again.
I have no clue about mediumship.
Right. Let's do one more pick, and this is the one we're going to have. Okay.
It comes up psychic abilities.
Right, hang on. Let me get them in free
medium,
section.
so I wouldn't be able to talk on that with any authority.
I could.
You could, but I can't because I'm not a medium, so I wouldn't really be able to.
Right, left, right, or middle?
Left.
Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
There we go. We'll do this one next week.
Oh, okay.
Our favourite famous hauntings. So that will be our subject for next week.
That would be cool. Jamie, if you're watching,
you have to pick a place. One place you've got to talk about, Dan. Not loads. Jamie, pick one. I'll pick one, and we'll talk about our favourite haunting.
Does it have to be of someone famous, or can it be just or can it be a building that you've gone to?
It could be a building.
A well-known building.
Yeah, a well-known, a famous haunting through history. Someone famous.
I still wouldn't know anything about mediumship.
Well, he's got the best person here that he can talk to.
Yeah,
about.
I know. I'm not a medium, so I wouldn't speak authoritatively on it because.
But you'd have questions. You'd have questions, though.
Yeah, I'd have questions. Yeah.
Yeah. So we are doing this next week. So favourite famous haunting.
Okay, that's cool.
So you've got to find one, talk about it, we'll ask questions.
Does it have to be somewhere that we've investigated, or can it be somewhere that we've interested in?
Anywhere in the world, doesn't matter, does it? As long
Can it
as
be
it's
an
a
infamous? Can it be infamous hauntings,
famous haunting.
but not
Infamous, I suppose.
infamous? Not like of a murderer or
It could be, yeah. I suppose it could be. So you got to put your thinking hat on.
thinking hat. Yeah,
There's
yeah.
loads of them out there, isn't there?
Tons of them, and there's tons of them.
Mm.
But
And
yeah,
no crystals involved.
no. No, or mediumship. No medium. If you'd have come out with one crystals with mediumship,
it's still in there though, so it will come up at some point.
mind you, I guess you, as a medium, I guess that mediums don't really need to use crystals, do they? Because they've got their own ability. So I guess it's kind of a non-starter, isn't it? Really, with mediums and crystals.
Yeah. But yeah, that'll be a good show next week.
That would be a jolly good show. Yeah.
You want to put up a slideshow? We could do that.
That'd be all right. I'll suit and tie.
Yeah.
I'll have a shave. Bullet points.
Bullet points, yeah.
Bullet point. Like, was it Gordon Gekko?
It's Gordon Gekko.
Wasn't it Gordon Gekko, the millionaire? The guy who was in, what was it? The big dealer. The big businessman. There's a film, wasn't it, in America? Lunches for Wimps, that type of thing.
Lots of people talking about mediumship who are clueless.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, I wouldn't even like to. I mean, obviously, I know the peripheries and I understand what mediumship is, but I'm not qualified to talk on it because I'm not a medium. I can say, well, I think this and I think that, but I'm not.
So you could ask any question and I can either
questions,
say, you'll know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, favourite famous haunting next week, which will be good. So Dan will pick his favourite one to talk about. Mm-hmm. Jamie will pick his favourite one to talk about, and then I'll pick my favourite one to talk about. So there'll be lots of questions and all sorts that will come up for those. So that would be interesting.
Very.
And tomorrow on Simply Spooky, we have a very, very interesting guest on. Do you want to talk about her, Dan?
Yes, we've got Vala on tomorrow, haven't we?
We have.
She's coming live from the States, and she's a lovely, lovely lady.
Yeah.
And she speaks on all sorts of wonderful things like the Fae, which is a particular favourite of mine. And she's knowledgeable about all aspects, isn't she, of the sort of spirit world. So she's very interesting. I was lucky enough to listen to a show. I think it was Ross Allison's friend that was doing the show, and he had her on as a guest, and that's how I found her. But she's a very, very nice lady, very knowledgeable, and very relaxing to listen to. So yes, I'm really looking forward to listening to her tomorrow and speaking to her tomorrow.
I bet she's not as relaxing as Monique's voice.
Monique's voice is amazing.
William Becker would know which Monique we're talking about.
William will definitely know.
As that in Monique woman has got
Joss. A voice like silk. Her voice is beautiful. It's like she should do audiobooks because it's fantastic. I would buy every audiobook she put out. She does, Terry. She does. It's all nature spirits and stuff. Yeah, it's mainly all that. Which I'm looking forward to. Is my favourite.
In a room, one after each other, they'll get different results. As you know, why? It's because they're not linking in, or they're not linking in with each other, or they're working against each other. That's why you'll get different results.
That's what we call a medium off.
That's a medium off.
It's a medium off where they're all trying to outdo each other.
Yeah. Oh God, that's funny when you see that.
Oh, saw it at
Tutbury.
They were in there and they were getting snappy with each other and they're all getting better. I'm picking this up, I'm picking that up. Well, I'm not picking that up. Well, I'm picking this up. You're not picking that up. Well, I'm picking this up. And it was like, this is getting silly. But I think we were all laughing, weren't we?
Yeah. I had to walk away. Oh, then Terry sitting there going,
Terry was at Tutbury, wasn't he? Terry.
He wasn't in that room that night, though. But Nerry was like elbowing me, going, go on, Viv. You tell them all for going. Nah,
maybe I'm wrong. I thought it was that was funny. It was funny,
Viv. So funny.
It was funny. But yeah, it was good. It was a good night. That I enjoyed that.
Yeah, we were talking about.
Is that Monique you're talking about?
Yeah. They're just talking about Monique. Joss's voice is nice. It's just
Her
her
voice
voice.
is like silk. She's got such a lovely voice, and yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
She's got a lovely voice.
Yeah. So we've come to 8 o'clock. So we are going to bid you farewell for the evening.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and listening.
I hope you enjoyed our show where we were talking about we don't know a lot about crystals and the paranormal.
Yeah, I'm sorry about my lack of commitment.
But we had
Really,
discussions.
and if I've upset anybody by my thoughts, I'm sorry. It wasn't meant to offend.
Dan, you are allowed to have an opinion, as
I know,
is
but I don't want to upset
everybody.
people. I know.
But
I know.
as is everybody, they have theirs and we have ours, and we
That's
don't
true.
always
That's
agree.
true. And
But
they may be very well be right.
But
you know?
that's what makes the world go round, Dan.
It does. It does indeed.
It makes life interesting.
It does indeed.
So we will be back next week with favourite famous hauntings. And tomorrow we will be on at 8 o'clock on Simply Spooky with Vala. I hope you can join in the chat there. It will be absolutely amazing. And we have she'll be talking about the Fae and cryptids, I believe tomorrow. So anything you would like to know on Fae and cryptids, please join us there over on the Simply Spooky page at 8 o'clock. If not, we will see you here next Tuesday.
Yes.
And we hope you can join us, or even join in the chat and let us know what your favourite hauntings are, or if you know the ones we will be speaking about, that'd be great too.
Have a good week, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and stay safe, which is the most important thing. Stay safe, be kind, and we'll speak to you maybe tomorrow or next week. Bye.